What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got some more Z06 content for you today, and like always, pretty much we start off the last few videos saying we're waiting on the heads to come in, but we're still waiting on the heads to come in, so that hasn't changed. But today we're going to be working on doing a clutch swap on this thing, putting a McLeod RXT twin disc rated for about 1,000 horsepower. So we gave you a little sneak preview of this in the last video, but today we're actually going to start the project. So we got everything from the flywheel, the clutch, alignment tool. Over here we got the little goodie box. We got the remote bleeder on the slave, a whole new slave line. Got the special hardware for the flywheel bolts. I guess those are unique for this kit. Pilot bearing, rear seal, got everything covered, and if we need to do the rear gasket too. So from our last video, we had the car off the rack and had to kind of push it to get the doors all the way open and do the wiring work and everything for the wideband. So all that stuff is wrapped up. We're done with that project, so we got to get the car back on the rack and then get it up in the air and start making the preps to remove the rear cradle. So we'll get started on that. And also, on a little side note, both my truck and my Corvette are due for oil changes, so I picked up some oil for the truck, and I got the oil for the Vette down here. But anyway, if you guys are needing oil for your cars, trucks, whatever, Walmart is where you need to go, because this 5-quart jug at AutoZone is $37. $37. And I got this at Walmart literally yesterday for like 22 bucks. So 5-quart jug, 22 bucks. The singles are even pretty cheap too, but you could just get multiple of these or whatever. But from 37 at AutoZone to $22 at Walmart. So if you need oil, definitely hit up Walmart. That is the place to go for your oil. All right, we completed step one, which is pull the wheels off. Pretty simple one there. This car has a carbon fiber diffuser under here, so we gotta remove that because there's like a belly pan that goes under the cradle. It's just a couple screws, nothing fancy, and then that will come down, and then we'll work on disassembling the upper control arm off the frame of the car, the shock, the brakes, all that kind of stuff to be able to drop the cradle. We got to do the X pipe. The headers are dropped, but we'll probably just pull those to get them up out of the way and just make it easier. And yeah, we'll keep moving. All right, the X pipe's pretty easy, depending if it's factory or even aftermarket. Just the 2 hanger bolts there, you just pull them out. And then up here, your secondary O2 wires, simple enough, just pull the plugs out, disconnect the header flanges, and then we're gonna, oh, that's nice. The guy put the bolt in with the clamp upside down, so that should be fun to try and get up in there, but we'll pull these out from the cap back and wiggle the X-pipe out. And our next step here, we just got the caliper tied up and hanging. There are 2 bolts in the back. Simple enough to get that out. We're gonna work on the suspension stuff now. here's just a quick recap of the time lapse, but the 4 bolts right across here, pull those out. The 2 for the shock, easy enough. The spring, mechanical spring and cable here for the parking brake. And then I think this is like an ABS central wheel sensor. So that just unplugs super easy. And there's a little ground wire tucked up back here. And then we'll give you a little better video footage of breaking that down on the other side. It should be the same thing. Yeah, those were pretty tight. I think they're Loctited in. Oh yeah. Zip tie. Just gonna hang that guy back there. Alright, this part with the spring, we just push up on the actuator for the parking brake, and then you can slip that hook off there. So that's pretty easy. Alright, made a little error with the brake line stuff. You see in the driver's side, you got a little coupler there, and that coupler is for the passenger side hard line that runs under the rear end transmission. So that's gonna have to go with the cradle when it drops, so we had to break that there. I thought we could get away with just hanging the calipers out of the way, which you certainly can do for the driver's side by disconnecting that little bracket and then hanging it, but passenger side, I think that line's gotta get disconnected and the caliper can go down with the cradle. So you do have to disturb the brake system. All right, next on the list we're gonna do is separate the transmission cooler lines right here next to the oil pan. Just by pulling that little retainer clip out. They're kind of like push lock fittings. We'll get that out. All right, the transmission lines are off. Next we're just gonna do where the bell housing attached to the torque tube, 4 bolts there. And I'm gonna look up under, or on top I guess, of the trans in the rear and see if there's any other wires and connectors we gotta pull. Check that out. And I think we got most everything under the car. Obviously we'll have to go kind of double check on that. The next thing I got to do is the clutch line under here, which hopefully you can see. It's got one of those kind of C-clip style locks, like which is on here, kind of like the transmission lines. And then there's also a bracket on the back side of the engine too that supports the line, so we'll just have to pull that out of the way. All right, so we did get the console removed. Unfortunately, I thought the camera was on, but it wasn't, and the shifter is out, so you can see just the top of the torque tube there, everything's disconnected. But I mean, it's pretty easy. It's just a matter of pulling screws and clips and disconnecting wires and stuff. But I mean, that should be no problem. You should be able to get that out. is one thing I missed.
Looks like it's not fully moving.
Was this wire
Moving it?
is tucked up over the torque tube, and it's clipped in with these little tabs. So you got to push that out
I think it's still in good shape.
to get the torque tube down. That's really the only thing I missed. And then also,
I just took the slave off.
oh, see this. Where's the old slave? Oh, was doing the slave. Was this line should probably be disconnected before sliding the torque tube back. So we kind of realized we were getting hung up with it. We knew we were replacing it, so we just kind of bent it out of the way. But that was one thing we kind of slipped up and didn't see, that line was getting caught as we were walking the cradle out of the car. So that's just one of those other things to take note of. I wasn't able to film. Was wiggling that out, and then just the wire loom that's on top of the torque tube. Other than that, it should be pretty much what we went through in the video. Rob.
Hopefully he's arm calibrated.
All right, we're just putting the new slave on, torque to 106 inch-pounds.
Oh, flex your muscles, man.
There we go, nice. And next we gotta work on getting this bell housing out of here and then pulling the stock clutch. So that should be a fun treat. Now we're working on the bell housing. Does it feel loose or like something's...
Feels like something's still on it. Probably another bolt on top.
Unless maybe you gotta let the motor come down a little in the back to give it space around where the kind of the firewall is.
No, it's clear. No, it should come loose though. There's nothing touching it. I wouldn't apply any pressure.
I feel like it should just pop.
There one up top. Is there one up top we're missing? There's something else.
We could move the cart out of the way and put the car down and then check.
Here, Rob, put your hand up.
Gotta get those secret bolts. Yeah, so the bell housing section here we were looking at, we thought there were just the 6 on the bottom, but there's 2 more up in the top. So if you didn't have anything undone in the engine, I'm pretty sure you'd have to pull the intake manifold to get to those top 2. So we should be able to get the bell housing out now. Should come out a little easier now, I guess.
Yeah, it's got plenty, just gotta mangle it out.
Yeah, you got one of those locks here. Not locks, guide.
Where's that pry bar?
Pry bar.
Pry bar!
Next
Chris.
drawer, next drawer up.
Pry bar!
One more drawer up.
Where'd you put it?
One more up.
One, but not 2, 1. Damn it, Chris. Come on, guy. Bring the torque arm.
Man, that thing is tight.
Snug fit.
Yeah, not as much room as you would think.
Carol from Baskin.
Cruising for a bruising, you're asking for a basket.
See the firewheel? Snug up there.
It's hitting on these lines here.
Air gun, Rob?
Yeah.
Why, are they tight?
Yeah.
Sean Nepal.
That's what they're listening over there.
You want to try this?
There we go.
That's the flywheel holder, the pry bar. It only works if it's snap-on pry bar though. How many of those are there?
A couple, 3 used. Alright, then never mind. Just put them back in anyway. Alright, never mind then.
Put them in my used bolt bin.
Good to go, yeah. Rotate. Or
Good.
See the seats are moving out. See them coming out.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, some of these seats are messed up.
I think we were reusing this. You're supposed to walk these out like one turn each and like in an even pattern, but I mean, this is all going in the trash, so it don't matter.
Did you see them coming out?
Yeah, the pressure. Let's check it out. Yeah, a little bit. You got that flashlight? I think it's just been wandering all day. Yeah, I just changed the batteries in this thing too. Oh, we're getting all new. Add it to the scrap pile. Oh, we need that. I gotta keep the dog blanket. So we just finished everything up, doing the tear down. We'll probably put this into a two-part video just because I think it'd be too lengthy doing a tear down and then a rebuild in the same clip. So this will be part one. Got everything pulled apart, went pretty well. And then the next part of this video, part two, we'll put together, will be rebuilding everything, putting it back together. So thanks for watching this one, and stay tuned for part two. We'll check out how to put the car back together, and we'll catch you on that one.